Aquarius, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early May 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes into energy and see what's happening for the lovely Aquarius collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Aquarius collective in early May 2026? We are in Taurus season, my good friends, and the weather's just fine around here, right? But let's see what energies, messages, insights we could take a peek at. And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Aquarius in early May. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick. There we go. Cool. So we have the alchemist. I like when he shows up. It does remind me of the hermit quite a bit. So it does have those hermit-like archetypes, and it's a strong card of focus. There's a lot of layers to it. There's a complexity to the alchemist. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the May subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye. You know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about the card. So as you can see, we have this very serious looking individual holding a potion. There's smoke coming out of it, right? He has the alchemical symbol for the sun right on his third eye, which does imply that this is someone that is illuminated, right? The eureka moments, aha moments. So this to me is someone that has just recently made a discovery or completed something. So I like that. That's great. Now it does give me the hermit archetype, where for some Gemini, I mean Aquarius is, I don't know why I'm saying Gemini, but it's like a withdrawn type of energy. It's like solitude, quiet, withdrawn. I'm working on something, I'm building something, which I don't dislike. This card can also be huge when it comes to focus, where it's like I'm focused on this. And so as an advice, sometimes that could be like, hey, spirit wants you to focus on this or focus on that, or don't hyperfixate on this. Like there could be something that you're either paying too much attention to or something you're not paying enough attention to when we have this alchemist type of figure. And then obviously we could get into the whole thing about transmutation of energies, like turning negatives into positives and stuff like that, because that's what alchemists do, right? They turn lead into gold. So I feel like I could speak about this card for like 20 minutes easily, but we're just going to let him chill right there. Maybe you're just in hermit mode, right? But we're going to let him chill out. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Aquarius. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So you did have a tower last week, or a tower-like energy, but it was actually a good one. The reading was titled A Shocking Win. Now, I always say wins, victories, they come in all different shapes and sizes. Sometimes it's monetary, sometimes it's work related, personal related, sometimes you might just have some really damn good days, or something goes way better than expected. So I hope you did collect that win. But no, that energy could bleed over for a couple weeks, and it looked pretty good to me. So we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Aquarius. What's happening? What do we got? Thank you. Cool. 6 of Swords. I feel like I saw this in one of the other air signs. I like the 6 of Swords. It's action. This card's been showing up quite a bit throughout the whole entire zodiac, actually. But I like that we're off to a good start with it. Let's get a couple more. Thank you. The Fool. Yeah. We're looking to right, my friends. I mean, this energy might be a little wild. We're just going to have to see what's up. Let's get one more, and we'll piece it together. Okay. Hierophant. Yeah, we got this little tug of war of energy going on here, my friends, where it's like, all right, I could do it the way that I always do it, or I could just do a completely different approach. Like there's like a revolutionary type of approach, and then there's like the same old stuff. All right, let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know, I always love to look at the elements. I feel like that gives us good direction and it frames the reading. We have a nice mixture this week, Aquarius, not as wild as last week, but we got air, fire, and earth. These two are very comfortable for you because although you are the water bearer, you are technically an air sign. And right here we have your power element starting us off. That's from a place of comfort. Now, when I look at air energy, to me it represents the mind, right? It's very logical, it's pragmatic, it represents information. So whether you're receiving it, whether you're searching for it, now this is always a great time to learn something. It's intelligent and it's smart, very cerebral. Now, it could also tie into communication, but the downside to air energy, it could be a little overthinky, right? It's an energy that could overthink certain things. Sometimes air energy could be a little cold, a little detached, a little mean. So that's something to watch out for. And then boom, right next to it we have fire. So the combination, the fire air combo, very explosive. Now the fool, or the fire rather. We'll get into the fool itself. Some people also call it a fire air combo, depending on who you speak to. But yeah, the fool to me with the fire energy represents action. So we have tons of action right here in the front. So whether it's actions you want to take, actions other people want to take, actions you decide not to take, I think of energy levels. I think of vitality. I think of a very refreshed type of energy, passion, drive, desire. It's very much burning hot. But the downside to fire energy is that it could be very unpredictable. And that's the thing I pick up here in the front, like with the Six of Swords full combination. I don't want to get too intuitive just yet, but it's like, I don't want to say impatient, but it's an energy that it just does. It acts before it fully thinks. Then back here we have the earth. That grounds things down. Now, earth could represent security and stability. So whether it's inward or outward, earth is your routine, your day to day life. It could be money, work, business, finance. It could be home and family. So whenever I see earth, I think of the world that we live in. So it's like we have the mind, we have the actions that people take, and then we have the world that's around us. The only downside to earth, it could be very much set in its ways. So let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, Six of Swords. Now, the thing I like about it, not only is it an action card in the first position, but it's improvement, right? We see these people, they're in the boat, they're coming out of the choppy waters into the calm. Does that mean it's without its own errors? No, there's going to be some rough aspects too. But normally with this in the first position, I'm like, okay, I like that. We're off to a good start. This energy is moving in the right direction. Now, can this also represent distance or travel? Yeah, it can. But to me, it's like improvement, slow and steady. That's what I like, but it doesn't stay slow and steady. I could definitely tell you that. Now, the downside to the Six of Swords, sometimes it could represent uh, things that pop back up when it flips up in reverse, like it's an energy where it's like a cycle over and over. It's an energy that can return. But the Six of Swords can absolutely represent giving up on something or just ignoring something or just not giving energy to something. So we do want to get a lot more detail here. I think it's good. I think it's action based, especially with the next card we have coming up. This doesn't seem to be where the tension is in the spread, to me at least. But moving into the middle, we have the Fool. Now, a lot of readers link this to Aries. Some people also give it to Aquarius. I mean, we could give it a combo. I normally go Aries with the Fool. It's the first of the tarot cards. It's the protagonist of the deck. And I always say it's fresh, it's new, it's an energy that's very lighthearted and jovial. It's nice. It has a good sense of humor. It could represent new chapters, new journeys, excitement. That's what I think of with this card. But the downside to it, notice he's always about to walk off that cliff, and his little puppy dog is like, no, 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 don't do it. So, like, the combination of the elements and the energies of the cards, it's like act first, think later. So, there is this little risk underlying because that's the downside of the Fool. It could be an energy that is very risky. It could be an energy that does something on instinct without fully thinking it through. So it's like I'm going with my urges. Or again, it could be great. It could be an energy that just wants to try a different approach or shake something up. Nothing wrong with that. So we'll see what's up when we clarify. Now, moving to the back end, this is where we get a totally different switch. This is where the energy really changes because we go from this free flowing, excited, action packed type of energy into the Hierophant. Probably one of the heaviest energies in the whole entire deck, and not necessarily in a bad way. It does represent Taurus. Right now, at the time of this reading, we are currently in Taurus season, so maybe it's just going to tell us something that's coming in this time. But this card is jam-packed from front to back with symbolism, right? It could represent your spiritual journey. It could represent your spiritual beliefs and ritual and how you connect with your own inner voice, prayer and meditation. This could represent power structures. So think of like corporations and governments and you name it, big power structure types of things. But when I try to put it in a nutshell, the Hierophant represents tradition. It represents things as they've always been, the old-fashioned way, so to speak. Which again, there's nothing wrong with that, but it clashes with all this energy that we have here in the front, where it's like this is the old way, this is the new way, and there's like a tension with the way they're portraying each other. And the real downside of the Hierophant could sometimes be the stubbornness of it, or an energy that seems to stick around. Another great thing, it's long lasting. So that is like one of the marriage cards as well. It's like very long lasting. But I want to dive deeper on all of this, Aquarius. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. Let's see what's happening. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Six of Swords. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages that you want to give to Aquarius, you can drop it right in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is the Six of Swords here? Where's the Six of Swords here? Cool. It's like I'm running away from something. Okay. So we have the Three of Swords in reverse. Now, initially what I like about this is when we look at it in its most classical form, Six of Swords, Three of Swords in reverse could be an energy where it's like something that really bothered me does not bother me as much anymore. Or a problem I was having is not so problematic. So we do see improvement. We do see things getting better. For some of you, especially with this alchemist hermit type of energy we had in the center, when I see the Six of Swords, Three of Swords, it's like I need to be like I can't be around a lot of people right now, because remember, threes, they represent groups, they represent group dynamics. Six of Swords, Three of Swords in reverse, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go solo for a minute, or there's a certain independence around it. It doesn't mean that you're cutting out everybody in your life, but yeah, maybe you are a little bit in hermit mode. Maybe you're a little too energy sensitive to be around certain individuals or big groups of people. That's very possible. But I was also getting this energy of potentially like running away from something, where it's like, you know what, I don't have the energy for this. I don't have the spoons for this. I'll circle back and figure this out later. So it's kind of like putting something on the back burner as well, or deciding to figure something out another time, where it's like, I'm going to put a pin in this. I'll come back Monday and see what's happening. I know those are hyper specific. Again, listen, I read for a lot of Aquariuses. I know you guys love the specific messages, even if they don't hit, but it is coming through very, very specifically here. So again, take it for what it's worth. There is good improvement here. I'm just not sure how I feel about the running away type of vibe, or nothing wrong with the solitude itself. But let's keep going. We're going to go in on the Fool, because this is where I see the potential tension, right? Like the old way, the new way. Things how they've always been, the new way of doing things, especially with this energy that could potentially loop back around. But let's go in on the Fool. Let's see what's up with that. Okay. Okay. So we have the Three Pentacles in reverse underneath this Fool. This is very much like, please do not tell me what to do type of energy. It's please just, you could give me advice or suggestions if you want, but do not tell me what I have to do and how I have to do it. I know Aquariuses don't really vibe with that energy much in general, but you might really not in this time. So notice both threes. Remember, the threes represent circle, people around us. Both of them are in reverse, right? So like when I see the Fool with the Three of Pentacles in reverse, it's either something about the solitude that we're picking up, where it's like, hey, maybe you're better off doing it yourself, or maybe this is an energy where it's like you can't be around many people for the time being. That's hyper specific, but only take it if it hits. Another thing I'm picking up here is the action, the super fast action that seems to come out of the blue. Because usually in the upright, the Three of Pentacles, it's smooth, things are working, nice earthy energy, very predictable. In reverse, boom. Totally surprising action or unexpected action coming from someone. So for some Aquariuses, if you've been a little bored or a little frustrated with a situation and how it's going, this to me is like kind of thrill chasing, where it's an energy where it's like, I got to switch something up, where it's like, I need to do something different, or I need, like, it's absolutely surprising or unexpected action where it's like, this isn't working, the advice isn't working, nothing's working, so I'm going to do it my way. So again, that could be someone else's energy too. There is this little frustration there. But let's keep going with the Hierophant. So we got the surprising, unexpected action popping in. Is what it is. No judgment here. Let's go in on the Hierophant. And we'll do our recap. So why is the Hierophant in the mix? And we'll do the recap. So please, why is the Hierophant? Quick. Okay. So we got the Ten of Swords underneath this Hierophant. Okay. Sometimes doing the same thing repeatedly, doing the same thing over and repeat, and approaching situations in the same exact way, um, you might always get the same exact result. I don't know why that's coming through, but when I see the Hierophant with the Ten of Swords, it's like, hey, you know what the result is going to be. Or it's like, if you keep doing it the same way, you know what the result is going to be. Why are you going to hurt yourself? Why are you going to put yourself through something difficult if you know that it doesn't work? And again, no judgment here. I'm not saying it's you, because remember, the Ten of Swords could represent endings. Right? So it's odd that right here in the front, I see an energy where it's like, hey, something that's bothering me, it doesn't bother me as much. And then boom, Hierophant, Ten of Swords, it's like, no, that energy is still there. So just watch out for stuff like that, like things re-emerging or things like popping back up, where it's like, oh, I thought I worked through all that. Again, this is just an energetic weather report, not saying all this stuff is going to come to pass. But the main vibe to me is like a new approach might be necessary, or doing things a different way. Because it's like, all right, well, if the old way wasn't, and you might have to advise somebody of this, where it's like, hey, if that's not going to work, if it's just going to lead to this anyway, then why are we even going to walk down that road? We might as well explore a new way of doing things. And that has been another thing that's been super strong since the beginning of the reading, where it's like we could keep doing things the old way and getting the same results, or we could do them the new way and take a little gamble and at least have a potential of a different outcome here. So let's go through and do a quick recap. We got the action, we got someone making a move regardless, but yeah, there's this other energy that seems to be trying to talk the person out of it, where it's like, yeah, but you don't want to do that. That's not a good idea. You shouldn't do it that way. So watch out for people trying to talk you out of stuff. But let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. If you kindly look in the box, yeah, we got some stuff. Both threes in reverse. There's this hermit-like energy, so you might be in that mode. But position number one, the Six of Swords with the Three of Swords. Initially, it seems like something's improving and getting better. Something that's been bothering me doesn't bother me as much anymore, which is nice. Um, but there is also this very solitary type of energy I'm picking up as well. Um, I think it's good for the most part, but moving to the middle, we have the Fool with the Three of Pentacles in reverse, where it's like, I need to do something different. I need a new approach. I need to do, where it's like, I'm not taking advice. There is like this spontaneous energy where it's like surprising or unexpected action. So whether it's coming from you, whether it's coming from somebody else, it's like, nope, I'm just going to do it. Just going to do it. Not going to overthink it. It's like I'm diving in. Then on the back end, we have the Hierophant with the Ten of Swords, where it's like, all right, if you do things the same way over and over and over again, you should expect similar results every time. Okay, so again, no judgment here, but that's just how this feels to me. Like Hierophant with the Ten of Swords, where it's like, hey, that didn't work the last 5 times. Do you think it's going to work now? Um, so a new way to explore, a new way to do things would actually might be a little bit of a gamble, but it would actually pay bigger dividends. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. We got action happening. Hopefully it's the right kind, but let's see what's in the shadows. And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card out. Let's get this shadow card out. I'm not surprised. I think some of you might chuckle as well when you see what it is. But we got our good pal, the Hermit. May have mentioned this card's name at least half a dozen times throughout this reading without actually pulling the card, and here it is. So the good thing, Virgo energy, the good thing about the Hermit, it's wise, it's introspective, it's great for spiritual exploration and exploring the inner self. But the downside of the Hermit is the solitary isolation. Sometimes it could represent missing someone or something. Now, I did already say, if you don't have the energy to be around certain individuals, certain people, or people in general. Nothing wrong with retracting the energy a little bit, especially with the hermit. But when it gets into something like missing or longing, that's when this, I don't want to say it upsets me, but notice that this is a ghost, where it's like I'm still living with ghosts, still living with the past ghosts of something. So we're just going to put him down right there, my friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the May subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My May calendar is up and the spots go quick, so you might want to check it out. But for the May subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 lucky subscribers to win either a copy of the Tarot of the Owls, beautiful deck, and it's really nice, or 3 custom made pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed, and second, let me know down in the comments, out of the cards that showed up in this week's reading, which one caught your attention most or resonated with you most. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in the posts tab. My friends, much love, and I'll talk to you soon.